Friends, this side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting and also a venture capitalist. Now standing today, we are going to be shooting a video about, and this video is specifically for startups. So that video we are shooting basically in basically to cover the six qualities that you need in a startup. So basically, you know that we have a VC desk and we are now coming up with a VC accelerator. So many startups come to us and request that being a founder of the startup, what should be the quality the founder should have. So we just guiding them that how exactly it would happen. These all are my words, and whatever I said are my opinion. I really do not want to if you want to take it, you take it. If you do not want to take it, you do not take it. That's up to you, sir. According to me, the founder of the startup play a pretty important role, in the sense like if the founder is a strong person, he can make a lot of things. A founder should have three qualities. Number one, he should not be very prone to the feedback, because when you start a startup, when you start a company, you will get a lot of feedbacks from the people. And a lot of time you will get the feedback from the family members also, which according to you might not matter well, because family members are not that qualified in some cases. You should not be feedback pro, but at the same time you should not ignore the right feedback also. What I meant it to say is that out of 1 million, which is 10 lakhs, approximately 1 or 2 are the right feedbacks, rest are don't. So you need to be pretty careful that which feedback to take and which feedback should not take. That is up to you. The right strategical entrepreneur is a person who take feedback in a pretty appropriate way. But that is very tough. In the sense like you should have the skill set to take that level of feedback. Now if I talk about Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the most successful business person in the globe, why I call this successful? Because he knows how to fool the venture capitalist, and his skill set now is being copied by many startups worldwide and specifically in India. The person who can fool Warren Buffett is of course a very he needs a kudos. Like he started with a mobile wallet, mutual fund, credit cards and whatnot, and now he is investing in a travel company. Forget him. So when you look at the Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the one thing which you always get is no clarity. He takes lot of feedback from the people and implement every feedback. While if you take Steve Jobs, he was also getting a lot of feedback because he was into the technological. Well, Vijay Shekhar Sharma is not in technology. He is just fooling people, that's for sure. While Mr. Jobs, iPhone, iPad, iMac Air, and iPad and all devices he made, iMac and everything. He of course was getting at that point when he was alive that lot of feedbacks, but he always relied on his feedback, and at the same time he decided on that what to take and what not to take. According to me, if you're getting a lot of feedback, the rejection ratio has to be 98%, over 98%. While if the acceptability ratio is over 98%, which is reverse, then you end up being the Paytm. And sooner or later, Paytm, Flipkart and Snapdeal, you have to default. If you're not getting the money, you have to default. That's pretty simple. The sixth leadership quality that I see the startup founder should have, and that is must, non-negotiable, is that consistency in the message. Once he passes the message, either in the public domain, YouTube videos to his staff, maybe the annual general meeting, maybe the town hall, in corporate town halls are very popular, but happen once in a quarter. When I was in my company, it used to happen once in a quarter. The message which you are passing has to be consistent, and more importantly, you have to speak this message in very less words. So you should not use pretty big words in passing the messages. That's how. So always have consistency in the message and always used as minimum words as possible. If you are using huge amount of words, huge count of words, then it is irrational. It's not required. Number two quality is the non-alignment. You should not pass those messages which will depict your ulterior motive. So example, non-alignment in the leadership means that, example, you are actually example I don't want to give, but we know that the government of India is actually pro few corporates. They always support few corporates and rest all are always ignored. Whenever they take any policy, these corporates are always pro corporate policy, and especially 3 or 4 corporates. So it is a non-alignment, which means that it's been an alignment, which means that you are aligned, so your policies are pretty much aligned with with few corporates. Non-alignment means like Singapore. If they take up a policy, they make up for the people. It definitely would have lot of interpretation issue in the people, but also corporates will know it is a pro-people country. So whenever you give anything, it has to be non-aligned. But in majority of the speeches given by the startup, it is actually aligned. So indirectly or directly, they tell their ulterior motive, and once they tell their ulterior motive, the people lose attention. Third is the diversity in the thoughts. I hope you would have listened Mr. Steve Jobs number of time on YouTube. Steve Jobs always have a diversity in the thought. Like, I request you to please go to YouTube and see the way he launched the iPhone. He said we are launching 3 devices. The one, we are launching a 3G device. The one something like that, 1, 2, 3. And ultimately people tend to believe that the Mr. Jobs this time is launching 3 different devices. But finally he said that no, we are launching a device which is sum of 3, and he said it is a mobile, because we call in India mobile, in US we call this mobile. He said Apple launching iPhone, a mobile device. And thus we know that when iPhones was launched, what happened? The day it was launched, people stood in the lines outside the stores of the Apple to buy it. And in fact, several people they waited outside Apple store to be the number 1, the first person in the globe who would have that iPhone, right? So diversity of the thought has to be there. You know, once you speak with a lot of horizon, lot of basically take the picture holistically. Don't give them a small picture. Speak holistically, like Micromax, which was claimed to be the Apple of India. Now where is Micromax? Oppo. And there are a lot of companies, those who came India spent heavily on their advertisement. Oppo. Do you remember? One of the mobile companies hired Virat Kohli. They hired, I think this young kid, which is what, Alia Bhatt, about this mobile advertisement. But what happened? What happened? This company, without quoting the name, is now out of advertisement. You hired Virat Kohli, you hired Alia Bhatt, and you hired many actors, and now they are outside of advertisement. Did you following how Amazon is doing advertisement? Like in this big in this season, basically, I think it is ending today, the sale of the festival season sale. Flipkart hired, if I am not mistaken, Mr. Bachchan, Virat Kohli, and Deepika Padukone. As far as I remember, 3 correctly, maybe more, I don't know. They hired 3 personalities, 1 from cricket, 2 from Bollywood movies, to push people to go to the Flipkart and buy their product, basically product on their platform, so that they can say that their GMV, gross merchandise value, is higher than the Amazon. But did you ever got to know that, or ever thought that Amazon never hired a single Bollywood personality? Don't you think that the Amazon can ask Mr. Bachchan to advertise for him? Amazon can ask Amir Khan to advertise for him, or Amazon can ask Will Smith to advertise for him, or any other paid actresses, highest paid actress of the Hollywood, to advertise for them. They never do that because they have a diversity in their thought. They connect you like apni dukaan. They connect you like all these things, so that person can connect to Amazon. Why? If you hire people like Virat Kohli, those who did advertisement for Punjab National Bank, and what happened with the Punjab National Bank, we know. One of the brands he and Anushka used to promote now is being promoted by the Alia Bhatt. Now, one of the mobile brands he used to promote, now this mobile brand is actually snap its ties with the BCCI and also doing no advertisement. You know which brand I am talking about. There are multiple brands, Virat Kohli, like Audi. He is promoting, but the situation is that Audi is 8-year low. The sale of the Audi is 8-year low in India, and Audi is currently facing a serious issue about how they're going to increase their credentials in India. So don't just go for the face. Once you speak, have diversity in the thoughts. Like Apple, the way Apple advertised, the way Google advertised. Like if you visit to YouTube nowadays, you will get to know about the how Google advertise. You know, a person come and dance. Somebody come and say chemist near to me. The way Facebook advertise, the way Amazon advertise, American giants are much richer than Indian companies. We know that. It was Amazon who wanted to buy Flipkart, but later on, due to some issue, Walmart came into the picture. But if Flipkart, because of Walmart, can afford Mr. Bachchan, Kohli, and Alia and Deepika Padukone, Amazon can definitely involve them. So have diversity in your thought. Don't always go by the face. Faces never comes. Faces no longer stay permanent. We know that, and that is the reality. Today it is Virat Kohli. When he would retire after 5 years, it would be somebody else. Simple. The point is pretty clear. Another is you should have a vision. You should give the vision once you speak, at least 25 years down the line. We call this as an effective storyteller. The world need of effective storyteller. Why people were waiting for Apple annual Cupertino event when Mr. Jobs used to say that these all are products we are coming. It could be iPad, iPro, iMac, or maybe the different versions of the iPhone and so on and so forth. Because Mr. Jobs is a storyteller. Mr. Jobs used to tell that how Apple would be 10 years down the line, how the technology would be 10 years down the line. But today, when a startup being founded, forget story, they need seed funding. They need a very fancy office. They need a car. They need credit card. They need business class travel. They don't want to work actually. They don't want to work. So they don't have story. Like today, I know many people dislike our video, but it doesn't stop me saying that most of the startups, those who are getting the funding, I'll assure you that 5 years from now, they won't be there. Like several idiots came and said that one day you give time to Flipkart and Snapdeal, they would be Amazon. Are they? Are they even closer to Amazon? Closer to Amazon? Is Paytm is even closer to Google? Paytm is even closer to Google. You tell me. Is Lenskart even closer to any US based company? And now what happened that Udaan, which is an e-commerce platform, they have reached to the valuation of $3 billion. $3 billion. A loss-making company reached to a valuation of $3 billion. I don't know what happened to the valuation principle, but everybody is a billionaire nowadays. It is just like a dot-com bubble of 2000 when every IT company was a billionaire company. But no one is a storyteller. No one is a storyteller like Mr. Jobs. No one is a storyteller. Alibaba, who was having nothing to do with the cloud, become #1 player in the cloud. That's storytelling. That is storytelling, and that is something you should have. And that is most of the startup founders are actually missing. They run before valuation which they know will not hold true because they are fooling people. And venture capitalists are investing the money, God knows what they look at these startups. But sooner or later this cycle has to bust and already started because of WeWork. The last but not the least, you should have the right selection of the platform. Now what I mean the platform is that select the right platform of giving presentation. Now it should not only be YouTube. We have multiple. Today the blessings which we have so many platforms worldwide. And these platforms should be effectively used while you pass your information in the public domain. So when Mr. Jobs used to advertise, used to participate in his annual Cupertino event, we were not having even if we were having YouTube, but it was not pretty popular. The TikTok channel were not popular. The LinkedIn wasn't very popular. So actually these platforms were not very popular during then. But nowadays, it's pretty popular, right? If you speak something, you speak wrong, people will cut that pic, the video, and upload on the TikTok. Use the right platform. Speaking is good thing. Material is another thing. Knowledge is another thing. The linking of material and the knowledge is another thing. But the most important thing is the what platform you are choosing. Because every platform is having its own pros and cons. So founding a startup is pretty easy. And especially in Singapore, it takes 2 to 3 hours to create a company. But to make a platform, to make a startup as a multinational company is not easy. You should have very good skill set, and these skill set actually you need to work every day on your skill set. Well, I never feel shy, and if people want to dislike our video, it doesn't make a difference. I met several we go to several B schools for placement, and we meet several startup founders every day, and very, very surprisingly to know that they even do not know how to speak. You ask one quantitative question from them and they fail. To many startups, I ask one question that how their EBITDA would be after 5 years. What is EBITDA? Simple, earning before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. And they do not know. If any startup founder is watching this video and I have a question from you, how your EBITDA would be after 5 years, if you are able to answer in 10 seconds, it means you know where you are heading. You ask any quantitative question from Treasury Consulting and Treasury Consulting would answer you. Would definitely answer you, quantitative question. But today's startups, they are pretty good in qualitative and pretty zero in quantitative. End result, the mess up we know. Because the people have made ideal to Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Today, rare people have made Mr. Jobs as an idol, Mr. Gates as an idol, Jack Ma as an idol, say Zuckerberg as an to an extent as an idol, say Marcus Goldman as an idol who founded 1869, Miss J.P. Morgan as an idol. So hardly 1 out of several million people have these people as an idol who struggled, who slept on the roads, who faced adversity in their life, who left with no option but still they continued to their dreams. Look at the history of Marcus Goldman. Look at the history of JP Morgan Chase founder. Look at the history of the founder of the Honda, which is Mr. Honda. Look at the history of Mr. Jobs. He was asked to leave his own company in 1984 and returned in 1995 when Apple was few months away from bankruptcy. But whom we made our idol? Vijay Shekhar Sharma, who knows how to change the goal as well as the goal post. To whom we made idol? Ritesh Agarwal, 25-year-old guy who thinks that even a loss-making company which is OYO is a wonderful business model. To whom we have made guy is the Uber CEO who came in the public domain and gave a utter nonsense saying that even though I lost $5.2 billion in a quarter, $5.2 billion in a quarter, but I am on a growth track and the business model is right. To whom we made idol is the Sachin Bansal who took a lot of funding in the Flipkart, raised, sold 6% stake at $1 billion and now spending the same money in the NBFC. And he even do not know that he is inviting trouble because where NBFC would be heading, we don't know. They are actually our idols. But Mr. Jobs is not our idol. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Larry Ellison and all, they are not our idol. So I would just summarize that have a consistency in your messages and never follow feedback, please. There are many people, those who dislike you. Doesn't make a sense. There are many people who are not happy with the Steve Jobs, like John Scully, but they are using Apple. You ask from John Scully which phone he is using, he will say I am using Apple. And have a non-alignment in your thought. I am talking from a non-alignment angle. I am not asking the money from you. I am giving you a free tip. Did I ask any money from you? I have over 900 plus videos now on the YouTube. And boss, if I put them on the monetization, I would earn at least $200 in a day. If I put all my videos on monetization, I will earn at least $200 in a day. $200 in a day. which tantamount to $6,000 in a month. But I don't do that because I've not made my videos for monetization. That's it. Have a diversity in your thought, that's pretty important, and speak yourself and make sure that your diversity should be at least 8 out of 10. Be an effective storyteller, and storyteller doesn't mean like Vijay Shekhar Sharma who only gives stories, like Zomato founder, Swiggy founder. Storyteller is like a Steve Jobs who knew where the technological world would be, and today I seriously miss him. I seriously miss him. You know, when the world talks about artificial intelligence, virtual reality, Internet of Things, augmented reality, blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, deep learning, and all these things, I really missed him. Because if he would be there, I'm damn sure Apple would be the first company who would have the flying car. I'm damn sure about him. And his views towards all these technologies would be completely different. The way he envisaged technology, iPhone, iPad, iMac Pro, and iPod and all these things were phenomenal. Nobody ever thought that we can have 1,000 songs in the pocket. Nobody ever thought, but he did. So have to be an effective storyteller, right? And most importantly, select the right platform. And that you need to do. And in some cases, you need to create a platform as well. That's more important. In most of the cases, we have knowledge, we know how to speak, what to speak, and so on and so forth, but we don't know what platform to use. And that's pretty important. Selection of a right platform is very important for a startup. And if you have all these qualities, you need not to run for the valuation game. I assure you, valuation will come to you. Choice is yours. So choice is yours. You have to take up a call. As a startup founder, you're left with only two options. So one option is to follow the orthodox, which is happening around, and another option is to have basically to be the best and to follow the path of those who gave us the best. Now choice is yours. If you want, you can make Vijay Sharma as an idol, the Zomato founder, Swiggy founder, Lenscast founder, Sachin Bansal and all. But for me, the real hero is the Steve Jobs, the man who created. He not sold any mobile wallet. He not sold any Chowmin. He not sold any ride service like Uber and Ola, but he made products. And today, this product is known as Apple. A company withstand $250 billion of free cash. Yes, $250 billion of free cash. I will make treasury consulting on the same path which Mr. Jobs started. We will not go for valuation game. Rather, we will go and we will have a path of value. We will have a path of content, knowledge, not the valuation. The bloody game is started by a few players in the system, and those who continue to track a word called unicorn. Well, for me, everybody is a unicorn in India now. That's for sure. Even a loss-making company, Lenscard, is a unicorn. That's for sure. But with this, we thank you very much. And you know our mobile number, which is +91, an Indian code, 9899242978. You know our fixed income platform, www.fixedincome.global. Have a great time and talk soon. And soon, you're going to have a pretty important videos from our side. I assure you that there's a lot of action which is happening on our YouTube channel. It's a matter of time. Our company, our upcoming bank, and a lot of good things is going to get happen. This is my assurance. We are not a paid corporate. Neither we worry from these paid and sold and incompetent media. Have a great time. Talk soon.